we talk about the impact of the Gaza war on the energy sector of the region, we need to particularly focus on three countries: Israel, Egypt, and Jordan. Israel is currently putting alternative plans in the case of halting the production of gas from its three producing gas fields and to shift its production to diesel and coal. As for Jordan and Egypt, we know that both countries are really heavily dependent on imports from Israeli gas. During the first quarter of 2024, Egypt imported around 1 billion cubic feet per day, which is equivalent to 20 to 25% of its gas need for electricity generation. In the case of an all-out war, Egypt will lose this quantity, and we have witnessed an example of that when the Tamar field closed for a period of 37 days during the first weeks of the Gaza war. So Egypt currently is putting alternative plans to really import LNG, liquefied natural gas, and also to import fossil fuels to produce electricity and to reduce its power rationing program, which was forced during the first month or few months of the Gaza war. But this will be very costly on its economy, on its cash-strapped economy as well. On the Jordanian side, although the quantities are very minimal, around 250 million cubic feet per day, the Jordanian citizens haven't really felt the impact of the Gaza war yet. But in the case of an all-out war, Jordan will be forced to shift from Israeli gas into also liquefied natural gas through its FSRU and also to import fossil fuels. Both options will be also very costly on its economy. Lebanon's energy sector has already been facing a dire situation since the start of the financial collapse in 2019. The generation from the Electricité du Liban, which is the national utility, decreased over the years to reach around 2 to 3 hours of electricity per day. With the start of the Gaza war, things haven't been really impacted by the war itself because the generation have been steadily at 4 hours of electricity per day, and the current plans are to increase this generation up to 8 hours in 2028. In parallel, there was a growth and a boom in the reliance on renewable energies, particularly solar. But this chaotic and unorganized way of shifting to renewables wasn't really able to close the generation gaps, and it is not expected in the current circumstances to really be the solution for the electricity sector in Lebanon. One last point is linked to Lebanon's reserves of diesel and gasoline, which are expected to last in the case of an all-out war for up to 5 weeks, up to 2 months. And this is really adding severe challenges on Lebanon's energy security and reliance on such fossil fuel products. Energy diplomacy was used over the past years, particularly from the United States, to promote energy security and energy collaboration between countries of the region. Unfortunately, the start of the Gaza war has shown that these efforts need to be reconsidered and has not delivered the results the United States particularly has aimed for. If we look at Egypt, we see that it's stuck in imports of Israeli gas, increased reliance on this gas, but also increased power cuts and increased imports of LNG and fossil fuels. If we look at Cyprus, we see that the island is stuck also in negotiations with Chevron when it comes to the development plan of Aphrodite and also development with other partners when it comes to other blocks. On the Lebanese front, things seem to be in limbo post-Gaza war. And these circumstances remind us of the environment that was during the Maritime Borders Agreement and negotiations that allowed Total to come back and drill in Block 9, the results of which were unfortunately unsuccessful. Currently, Total has not delivered its report of its drilling activities. The government was forced also because of the circumstances to delay the third licensing round, and the oil and gas prospects in Lebanon seem to be at the table of negotiations for the day after of the Gaza war.